Where's the party?
Hello, Sue.
Hi, Shelley.
And welcome to the Fun Grandma Podcast. This is episode 3, and we had an amazing conversation with Michelle King. And but before we get to that, I know you're just like me. I need a Parker Sue update.
Okay. All right. Happy to deliver. She is getting ready to crawl, so her mother is really kind of helping her, but we want to make sure she would stop maybe falling and hitting her head because she gets up and then she's down.
Right.
And so pretty soon that one is going to take off. And I keep saying to Lexi, I don't know if you really want her to be that mobile, but here she goes. It
just changed everything.
Yeah.
That's a whole new era.
Yeah.
The moving era.
Yep. We're getting there.
Yeah, well,
We're
that's
getting there.
great. Well, she's just the most precious great-grandbaby ever.
She really is. I have to agree 100%.
Yes, we just love keeping up with her.
Yeah.
Well, and then, of course, we've had this conversation, like we said, with Michelle.
Mm-hmm.
So tell us a bit more about the Youth Resource Center that Michelle has founded.
Yeah. So the Youth Resource Center really started in Michelle and Ed King's home.
Right.
And they had, oh my gosh, for years, kids living in their home that they were taking care of. So once they got the facility,
right,
it was like, that's a good move, you guys. That
right.
is
That's where this
a
was all
really
headed.
good move. And their hearts and what they have and what they are continuing to do for youth 12 to 17 is remarkable.
I really was amazed.
Yeah.
And I know you're going to be too. And such an inspiring person Michelle is.
Yeah.
And this whole story of how this all came to be. So
Yeah.
you just got to listen.
Yeah. Welcome, Michelle.
Yes,
So
thanks
glad
for
that
being
you're here. So at Fun Grandma, we love to hear people share a memory that they have of their grandparents. So would you share something that is a memory of you as a child and grandparents?
So my grandma Katie
I love
O.
that name.
Oh, she was sassy as the day is long, and she smoked a carton of cigarettes a day, I swear. And back in the days when you get a note and a check to go to the store and get grandma some more cigarettes, that
Right,
was
sure. Yeah, sure.
It was those times. But grandma loved her flower gardens, and she had the biggest strawberry patch you can imagine. And every time there was a family gathering, we all went to Grandma O's house. Like everybody, my mom was one of 5 kids, and then there was 13 grandkids and Dan. And so there was like an army of us that descended on Grandma's tiny little house. And I swear there was a family gathering twice a week. And we all just got together all the time. But Grandma, her big thing was her flower gardens, and I inherited some of that. And I actually still have some of her hen and chicks. And I have a Christmas cactus that is bigger than this table.
Wow.
That was hers, and then went to my uncle, and then when he passed, it came to me. And I've named the Christmas cactus Kate, and she'll be in my big dining window for Christmas.
I don't think I've ever heard of people inheriting plants. I think that's really neat.
I have her dining table too that we all used to get around, but really, I mean, this Christmas cactus, it got a little sickly one time. I was a little terrified that I'd hurt Grandma's plant, but no.
That's
and
really cool.
if you come to my house, it's a little welcome to the jungle, because like that. Those are my toys. I counted the plants in my dining room and living room for an app thing that I was doing, and there was over 40 of them.
Nice.
So
That's cool.
I might have got that from my grandma.
I think you
I
did.
think you did. Lots of oxygen
Yes,
in your
Yes.
dining
definitely.
room.
Yes.
That's awesome.
It's just fun.
Well, and we know that you're a fun grandma as well, like your Grandma O.
Yes, and so my 2 grandsons are teenagers now. They're
Okay.
13 and almost 15, and they're taller than I am. And so what do teenage boys do? They eat.
Yeah.
And I'm not a very good cook, so I do teenage boy food really well. When they come to my house, we start at the grocery store. I'm like, okay, what do you want? And we
I bet they
load
love
up.
that.
Oh, absolutely. And at my house, if you eat a whole package of Oreos in the afternoon, well, that's an appropriate use of Oreos. I'm a grandma.
you are fun, Grandma.
That's right. And then, of course, we have a swimming pool, so they swim it off too in the summertime. But yeah, no,
Right.
it's stay up late and watch YouTube videos way too late in the night and eat Oreos and whatever other.
Well, sure.
You
I
know.
think that's the benefit of being the grandparent.
That's right.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
You're the
Mom can
exception,
make
not
them
the
brush
rule.
their teeth and do their homework.
Right.
I'm just like, yeah. Oh, you want to learn to play the tuba? Well, here's a baritone for you to practice at Mom's house.
Well, that's fun.
That happened last week.
Then that happened.
Last week, I remember going to your house at Christmas,
Mm-hmm.
and you could barely walk into your house because of the gifts.
Yes. Well, I
Is
put
that-
little things in big boxes.
Is that still a
That's
thing?
fun.
Well, my children raised a concern because they're like, okay, it takes 2 days to open the presents. That's a little obsessive. It's not fun. So we've had to scale down, and they're all adulting now. So like, one of every household's gifts is a case of toilet paper, and then they also get a case of paper towels. Well, I don't wrap those anymore.
Okay.
But when I used to wrap them, that's part of how we got to the ceiling.
I'm like, sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just square footage. It just
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah.
Well, especially when you have a large family, because yeah, it's.
But I bet they love getting a supply of that. I know I would.
Oh, well, I
I'm
did
just
that
putting that
before-
out there.
I did that before COVID.
Yeah.
Was that, our retired moms each got, my mom loves Bounty paper towels, but she would, on a fixed income, she would never
I
buy
was
them
going to
for
say, I
herself.
don't splurge on that.
Exactly. So for Christmas and her birthday, she would get a case of Bounty.
Oh,
And, it's the important things that
it's
matter,
practical.
right? Yeah.
It's
right.
practical.
So we pass that on to the grandchildren. They get,
They get that too.
They can count on it. I love it.
and they do.
I'm saying, I get it.
Oh
They're
my gosh.
elated by that.
Right. Especially in these times. Come on.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh. Okay, since I have known you, you are often caring
Yeah.
for others and supporting those who need assistance. So, what birthed that in you, do you think?
My mom was that way.
Okay.
So I was adopted. I grew up the only redhead in my
Okay.
family. The only one that really needed the sunscreen.
Remember?
Yes.
Yeah.
But I was just visiting with my cousin the other day, and she's like, we were talking very similar to this question, and I said, how could I not? I was adopted. She goes, I forgot that because I was never raised that I wasn't part of the family.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
If you were there, you were part of the family. And whether that was foster kids, foreign exchange students, whatever, you're part of the family forever. And that's just the way my family was and is. And that's, yeah. So how could I not be?
Right. I could see where that birthed all of that.
Yeah. You don't have to look like each other or have the same last name or be blood in common. Family is family.
Right.
If you show up to dinner, here's some food.
Right. Your family.
Your family forever. Good job.
And if you need a place to stay because you're here for dinner,
Yeah, exactly.
we got you. And if you need socks,
Yep.
we got you.
Exactly. Yeah. All of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I
Yeah.
feel like you kind of already answered this, but how do you see God in that? I mean, how was he? Do you see him directing you towards the things that you're doing now?
Yes. Yes. And he has always been there. I mean, so Ed and I have 4 kids. We've been married 18 years now. And there was a time when none of our kids were at home, but one of their friends showed up at the door. And the Lord just really put on my heart, don't turn him away. And I'm like, he's like, are the kids here? I'm like, no, but the dogs are. Do you want to go play with the dogs in the backyard? And he's like, yeah. And pretty soon I'm like, hey, you hungry? He's like, yeah. So I made him a $1 pizza.
Sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And about halfway through the pizza, he stops and he goes, do I still have a toothbrush here? I'm like, you're a teenage boy asking if you can brush your teeth. Yeah, you still have a toothbrush. It's upstairs in the bathroom. He goes and brushes his teeth and goes back to his pizza. It was the strangest thing. And I'm like, something's up.
Yeah.
Well, when all the kids came around, pretty soon here came his little brother, and I learned that specific kiddo came to my house fleeing after some of his stepfather's nefarious associates had broken into their house, locked him in the basement while they robbed the drugs out of the house. And so he had been pinned in the basement. And when he finally broke free, he came to my house. Now, can you imagine if I had turned that baby away? I mean, he was like 12, right?
Right.
And thank the Lord that he said, let him in, right?
Right.
And that he had a dollar pizza and a toothbrush at my house. It was a divine appointment.
I think so.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So
Wow.
yes, and that was before we ever started the center, because it all started at my house because my kids brought home extra kids. And I think everybody with a teenager has somebody else who eats out of your fridge. That's normal.
Yes.
But this was, in the 10 years our kids were in high school, we took in more than 30 homeless, abandoned, or abused kids. At one point I told the Lord I could handle 10 boys to one teenage girl, and he must have thought it was funny because it wasn't 2 weeks later, and there were 10 boys in the basement and one teenage girl on the main floor. And the basement smelled like corn chips and gerbils, but as long as there were video games and food, they were fine. The one teenage girl on the main floor of the house, holy bananas, did she give me a run for my money.
Oh my gosh.
Well, but that is, I mean, we live in a small community.
Yeah.
I mean, the awareness of homeless, yeah, anyway, I know we're going to get into it, but it really gets me at how ignorant and unaware I am.
But it's not just you. So when we launched into the Youth Resource Center, the number of people who, like, the head of Idaho Education said there were no homeless unaccompanied youth in Idaho. I said, then you haven't been to my basement.
Right.
And since we started bringing awareness to this, now people are having conversations statewide. We have our first grants in the state of Idaho this year to address youth homelessness ever. Because so many people just didn't know. Didn't know. And, Region 2 has the highest count of homeless kids. But is that because we're counting them?
Mm-hmm.
Because when I'm working with other youth-related associations throughout the state, the need is there. There's just not solutions. There are 18 beds for homeless kids in Idaho, and 16 of them are in Lewiston.
Oh,
Wow, Michelle.
Wow.
So, I mean, I think we are only seeing the tip of the iceberg of what the real need is. And other states have been working on this. I mean, the Runaway and Homeless Youth Act passed 50 years ago. So other states have been working on it for a very long time, but Idaho has just kind of not been aware, and then passed legislation that has exacerbated it.
Yeah. Well, when you think of Idaho and when I think of our state identity, I think that could be we just don't see ourselves that way. We're
Absolutely.
not urban. We're not lots of things. And we consider ourselves family oriented.
And you would never know that how many homeless, abandoned, and abused kids just fall right straight through the cracks in the system. And when we created the Youth Resource Center, we met with the police department and said, okay, what do we need to know? What do we need to do? Let's work together on this, because they were aware of the problem. And we met with Child Protection Services and said, okay, I know there's a gap. You know there's a gap. Let's quantify it and rise to fill it. And that's how we created the Youth Resource Center. So we're that safety net that falls between all the other existing systems.
Right.
Yeah. Well, you've tell our listeners what the Youth Resource Center is.
Yes,
What's your mission? And I know I love this that you say, because I hear it in my head often, messy miracles. So tell us about that. And then will you share one of those messy miracles with us? I know you've got hundreds.
Right.
Yes, and
I love that.
Yes. So it's so funny because actually on Monday night, we're going to vote at the board meeting to replace our mission statement that probably has too many words in it to a mission statement that was written by one of our guests.
Oh, awesome.
Because at the youth center, the kids are empowered to be part of the solution. Now, we don't just like on a willy-nilly let them run the whole show, but they also don't just get to pick the snacks. I'm not kidding when I say like our designs for the future building that we're working on, the kids actually decided where the door went. Because it's for them, so you can't do it without them.
Yeah, it's so empowering.
So don't ask me to recite the mission statement today.
Okay.
Because I will get the new one memorized. But
Okay.
it's hope for local teens. It's a safe place where we meet concrete needs, but safety first and relationship first. When a kiddo walks through the door of the Youth Resource Center, they don't have to sit behind a desk and do a trauma dump of their whole life story. They get to walk in and type their name on a tablet, which is technology they're very used to, answer some important questions like, are you fleeing for safety?
Right.
But they don't have to like talk to a stranger about that. They can divulge that in a technology that they're really comfortable with. And then they are welcome to grab food, take a shower, do their laundry, get new socks if they need them. We bribe kids to do homework. So if they do one assignment, they get a candy bar. If they do 5 assignments, they get a gift card to go to the movies or get a coffee or go get some fast food, all of that kind of thing. And then we serve dinner at 6 o'clock every night. After dinner, we say, okay, who needs a safe place to stay? And we have 16 beds. Wow. Now, we do all of this in partnership with the parents. We just recognize that parenting is hard. And if you are a struggling parent and then you have an adolescent, well, God help you. You may need him in this. Because it's harder, right?
It is, yes.
And so last night there were 9 kids who had a safe place to sleep with us. And
it isn't just a safe place, which is really important. It's a beautiful, comfortable. I don't know how you keep it so, I mean, it's so organized. The outside looks great. The inside.
Right.
Thank you. There's an incredible team who works very hard to make that happen, because on any given afternoon, we'll host 35 teenagers.
Yeah.
And how do you make the fridge not be sticky when you've served 35 teenagers?
I don't know.
It's constant maintenance. Like there's every 2 hours, somebody unsticky the fridge, right? So thankfully there's wonderful people there to help make sure that it's always safe and clean, because clean is part of safe. And for a lot of these kiddos who are, who don't have a home, they're houseless.
Right.
Where is your safe, clean place? Where do you shower?
Right.
Where do you wash your socks? I mean, yeah. And so for a 12-year-old, that's even harder to navigate, because most 12-year-olds don't even know that you need to wash your socks.
right. You're just trying to, the education.
If they're crunchy, we've gone too far. You can't slide in them. If you can't slide in them, you got to put on a clean pair.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh my gosh. So a messy miracle story.
Okay.
Yeah.
So when we very first opened, we had a 14-year-old little gal come to stay with us. And from the moment she walked in the door, I want you to just picture in your mind's eye a black hoodie with the hood up and the strings pulled. And her window to the world was about 2 inches around, okay? Because that's all the world she was going to let in. That was all that was safe.
Sure.
And she didn't talk much, and she just was in her bubble. And pretty soon, the strings didn't get pulled. And after a few days, the hood was down. And when the sweatshirt came off, we knew it was a big deal. Yeah. And this kiddo, mom was in prison. Dad, very compromised by long-term addiction and long-term drug use. And so this kid fell through the cracks and was just existing, not thriving.
Right.
And so when we got to the spot where we were giggling, that was a big deal. And on Christmas Eve, the team called me to come downstairs because this kiddo was melting. And she was sitting on the floor petting the dog, and the dog was soaked in her tears. And I just said, baby, Christmas hasn't always been a good thing, has it? And she said, no. I said, okay, well, we're going to get through this together. So how about this? We'll giggle when we can. But when we can't, we'll just pet the dog and we'll let you be, okay? But know that you're safe and loved, and Santa's coming, which I don't think had ever happened for her before. So Christmas morning, she gets up, and grocery outlet had been super gracious and gave us Nerf guns.
Oh,
and so,
that's great.
In conjunction with Santa's surprises, everybody got a Nerf gun. And after stockings were opened, we erupted into the biggest Nerf war you have ever seen. And it was epic. Like, we moved the furniture, and it was bullets everywhere. And this kiddo, she was not going to participate. And she sat right in the middle of the room. I'm not playing. But she had a Nerf pistol in her hand. I'm not playing. And just every once in a while, you get a zing from her. Zowie, right? I was like, not playing, whatever. And we all were like, yeah, No. It's been 5 years. Kiddo is 19 and stopped by like 3 days ago. And she's like, this is the safest place I've ever been. This is my home. When I think of home, this is where home is. I'm like, well, kiddo, you're still our kiddo. You're a member of the King family forever now. Even if you're there for a day, you've got family, you've got people. If you ever need us, come running. And just that glimmer of hope.
Oh my gosh.
Moves mountains.
It's huge.
Messy miracle. She made it.
Yeah.
And let me just tell you, there were a lot of days when it was touch and go whether or not that was going to be a thing. I mean, we've been in the moment when a kid decided between life and suicide 62 times.
Yeah. Wow.
I say yeah. I say yeah, not because I have experienced that, but I know you have. And I know of the miracles. And I just...
In those moments, friends, that's just... God just takes over. And you hold on with both hands and you cry with them. And you get to say those important words that I know in ministry we say so often and we kind of take it for granted. But you matter.
Right.
You are loved. There is nothing that you have ever done or could ever do that makes you not worthy.
Right.
Yeah. But you've shown that before you've said that.
Right.
And
that has to,
And then we walk it out.
Yeah.
And that isn't easy. It's messy.
Right. Well,
It's
and until
hard.
you get safety, you can't really even know it's probably there. So
Well,
it's
and
probably
then-
so surprising to them.
And then you self-sabotage because it's weird. It's like being
Right.
naked, right?
Right.
When crisis is normal, then
Right.
you normalize crisis.
Exactly.
And so, but we teach them that, okay, I get it. You're making a mess because that's where you're comfortable.
Right.
But let's consider other options. We do a thing called dragon training where we teach them about, when you have trauma, it changes the way the electricity flows in your brain. And ACEs never go away, but you do learn to thrive. When you perceive that you are safe, you can regrow those synapses.
Right.
And the brain does heal. And so, but learning to recognize that, you will always walk into a room and sit where you can see the door and know your escape plan.
Right.
Because you've had to do that since you were a small child. But now you'll do it and be like, but I'm going to pick the sunny spot. And it changes, and it's not out of fear. It's because you've taken that power back. And you can grow and heal through that. But part of that is you have to regrow those synapses, which means that you have to let the electricity go to the part of your brain where you have feelings. And that is a lot like a butterfly trying to grow wings, right? You turn into a puddle of goo. It's hot, itchy, messy.
Right.
Probably doesn't smell very good. I mean, it's hard, right?
Right.
But on the other side, you can fly.
Right.
And
It's
you
worth going through.
Yeah. And you put words to all those emotions. So, yeah.
And we do it as my whole team does it as people who have done it. And so we're not expecting somebody to do something we haven't already done.
Yeah, that's a big deal.
And I'm surrounded by wonderful people who have been through hell and now they're reaching back through those gates and pulling kids through it. And it is the coolest, hardest thing I've ever done.
Yeah. Well, is there a project that really sticks with you that you think, oh, only by the grace of God?
The whole thing is the only by the grace of God.
I'm sure.
But this one, so our youngest son, Tristan, was about to turn 18. And my husband says, Tristan's going to turn 18. He's going to graduate. We're going to be empty nesters. And I said, well, how about we let Tristan have the house and we go live with homeless kids? And my husband didn't miss a beat. And if you know us, you know that we laugh through everything, right? But he did not miss a beat. He goes, no, that is not happening. And I said, well, you best pray about it because that's what God's put on my heart. He's like, okay, just tell God no. And this is not happening. I said, King, you better fleece it because this is the deal. So Ed actually fleeced it. And he gave God 3 impossible, air quotes, impossible fleeces, right? And the first one was that we would get the building. We had
Well, sure.
$4,000 that we had saved up. The building was listed for $700,000. Right?
Okay.
That's a mountain.
That sounds,
right?
yeah.
Mhm.
I'm sure he felt safe behind that one.
And the second one that we had to get the zoning approved, which in Lewiston, when you say homeless solution, people get
right.
out their torches and pitchforks. And I'm not kidding. Like, they have dug through my garbage. They have threatened to mount arms against us. I mean, people lose their bananas. Like, oh my gosh, so much over it, right? So he felt pretty safe behind that one. And then he said, you get money to run it, because getting money to run something that's running is easier than
Right.
getting money
The startup.
to start something that's just an idea, because you have no proof in the pudding, as it were. Right?
Right.
So these were the 3 fleeces that the Lord gave Ed, or that Ed gave the Lord. And God goes, psh, watch this. So we put in an offer on the building. So we applied for the zoning. I'm going to go to number 2 first. We applied for the zoning. And the public hearing for the Planning and Zoning Commission was the day the governor shut down the state of Idaho for COVID. And everybody thought the meeting was canceled. It turns out it was like the last meeting that happened in the state of Idaho before the shutdown. But all of the naysayers didn't come because they didn't think it happened. So when we hung up the sign 3 months later, they're like, there wasn't a public hearing. We're like, yes, there was. You weren't there. It's approved and you can't appeal it anymore. Ta-da! So God moved that mountain.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
was
saying
clever.
He brought COVID, but maybe the timing on the governor's behalf had the
Yeah.
Lord's intervention there.
Perhaps.
Absolutely. So, yeah. And then of course, funding. Well, after we got the zoning, the city had CDBG money that had to be used by the end of their grant period. And so they're like, we're accepting applications, blah, blah, blah. And so we applied. And it was my very first grant application. It was 90 pages long.
Yeah,
Like, oh my
I
gosh,
bet.
they're just like a serious booger to write, right? And that was before AI could help you with that. And so I put together like completely like, what's the budget? I don't know. I called Sue Kleberger. I'm like, Sue, you're a banker. Help me write this budget. I have no idea what I'm doing with this, right? And so we did. And the city approved $150,000 to put down on the building. And then the owners let us carry the rest. I went to them and said, okay, we're going to put homeless teenagers in here. And they let us do like a rent to own kind of a thing where we paid it to them with a balloon in a few years. Totally a God thing. It was property they inherited from their dad. They're like, Dad would love what you're doing. We can't wait to get behind it. And they actually countered with a better offer, like better interest and better terms than what we had offered them. And we got money back at closing, which a lot of people will tell you doesn't happen very often, right?
No.
Yeah, so that was a miracle. And at this point, my husband's like,
Oh,
are you freaking kidding me? And so when the $10,000 check showed up in the mail for the beginning of operations, I can't say what the word was that Ed said, but it had some 4 letters in it. And he was like, all right, we're moving. Yes, Lord. We're in. And so, yeah, but only by the grace of God. The whole thing.
Yeah,
It's
what
just,
a story.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
my
that
gosh.
actually builds my faith to tell that story, because we're in the process of building again.
Right.
And I need another $1 million, and it seems impossible. And then I'm like, if 5,000 people just gave us $200, we'd be there.
Well, that's
Do I know 5,000 people? God, 5,000 people.
That's
Make
right.
this happen, right?
Right. Well, could we talk about that real quick?
Yeah.
Could you tell what
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
phase
so,
2 is?
Yeah. So at the Youth Resource Center right now, we serve 12 to 17-year-olds. And we've been open 5 years, and we've served over 500 Lewiston and Clarkston kids.
Right. Wow.
That's amazing.
They're just
It is.
Lewiston and Clarkston kids.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is, talk about local, right?
Yeah.
And of those 500, 100 have stayed the night.
Okay.
Okay.
And great, amazing things have happened. We've had 11 kids graduate.
Yeah.
Do you know how hard it is to attend a school when you're homeless?
Yeah.
I
can
don't.
imagine.
Yeah.
I don't. So that
So,
It's a big deal.
yeah. So, it's phenomenal. And a lot of the other kids are just still too young to have graduated yet. So miracles in progress. But when they turn 18, they can't stay with us anymore,
Right.
because we can't put a 12-year-old and an 18-year-old in the same space. That's not safe for anybody.
Right.
But there's nobody renting to 18-year-olds. I mean, if you owned a property, would you rent to an 18-year-old who's still in high school and doesn't have any money? No. I mean,
right.
and it's kind of insurmountable that you, on a part-time wage in our community would be
Right.
able
Oh,
to
yeah.
sustain
Oh,
an
yeah.
apartment.
Right.
Yeah. So we are building a transitional housing village for 18 to 20-year-olds. It will serve them until their 21st birthday. There will be 12 cottages. Each kiddo gets their own cottage so they can learn to clean it and keep it. It's just a bedroom with a bathroom and shower, so they don't have to keep a kitchen clean, right?
Right.
But it's enough. It's kind of like a micro dorm in each of the little cottages. And then on the grounds is a commons building that will have a commercial kitchen where we'll teach cooking lessons and like smart grocery shopping and budgeting and all of those really important things. And then also a laundry facility there because you have to learn how to wash your socks.
Right.
These are important things, right?
Yes, very.
But it's a gated community where everybody's in the same boat. Nobody's even old enough to smoke a cigarette. So they'll all, and there'll be a dozen of them with case managers and on-site staff all the time. Yeah. So that they can learn those important things like what do you do when the toilet goes backwards?
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
Because that is a real thing, right?
Yeah.
And somebody needs to teach them.
Mm-hmm.
Just all of the adulting things.
Right.
And we'll just get to come alongside them. And yeah. So
Such a powerful vision.
I got an email this morning that says we officially have our fire hydrant.
Yes.
There is one manifestation that you can see above the ground of us actually making things move forward. There is a fire hydrant now. So
Congratulations.
exciting. I know.
That's a big deal.
When you need one, you need one,
That's
right?
right.
Oh,
It's kind of like a
absolutely.
toilet. It's very important. So
Very, very
the
important.
water and sewer lines, the mains are in. And so, yeah.
Good. Oh,
And
great.
so, how much money do you need?
To build all 12 cottages and then the staff cottage, we need $1.4 million.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. And how do we get that money to you?
So the easiest way is, you can certainly go to our website and click the donate button right there.
Okay.
But of course, online transactions have fees. So if you want to, you can mail a check to the Youth Resource Center, and it goes in our little locked mailbox until our business people get to that.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
That's excellent. Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Yeah.
I'm expecting to hear of money coming from just the most amazing places.
This is the way the Lord works.
Yeah.
Well, and I know our listeners are people that really like to support things. And are there other ways that people can give other than resource, which money is great, but are there other needs?
Yes. So we frequently put out on Facebook when we need things like deodorant.
Okay.
Or laundry soap. You can imagine at the Youth Resource Center, when you've got a dozen teenagers doing laundry, let me just tell you, we burn through the Tide and Downy pretty quick.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So, or dishwasher detergent, those kinds of things. And then Costco gift cards. Our grocery bill at Costco is over $1,000 a week right now.
Okay.
And we are a food bank partner, so Idaho Food Bank helps get like a lot of the basics, but we know that for the kids we serve, food is safety, and a lot of it's comfort foods that they're familiar with, and then we let them write on the wall on the dry erase board what they want for groceries, and often it's cottage cheese and raspberries. Or I've learned that sour cream is considered rich people's food. Because it's a perishable condiment. You don't actually need it. So the next time you have a baked potato with a lot of sour cream, just know that you are eating with the elite right there.
Interesting.
Because if you don't have a home or a fridge,
right, you can't.
or you're only getting dry goods,
Right.
sour cream's not a thing.
Right. Absolutely.
Well, God gave you to go along with your heart some brains. You are a great businesswoman.
Yes.
I see why he called your name.
Yes, right.
But even in the midst of that, there have to be times that you get discouraged.
Oh, yeah.
And that you feel like this is too big for me. So what do you do? How do you overcome that? What helps you?
Yes. Let's just start by saying absolutely. There are definitely moments when my morning prayer is, Lord, I'm not big enough, but you are. I can't do this, but you can. So use me for your glory. And there are a lot of days when my to-do list has to-do lists and I can't get it all done. And I have to accept that. I did start writing it down, and I highlight what I get done so that I don't feel like a complete miserable failure at the end of some days, because some days you only start things and you don't finish them, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And then I have a battle songs playlist on my
That's good.
phone that
Yeah.
I crank up when nobody's home, and I have been known to stand on the couch and sing into a hairbrush a time or two, because even if it's to remind myself
Yeah.
that I'm not doing this on my own. And he is the God of miracles. And he is not scared of any of this. And if I think I'm facing down Goliath, who's standing behind me? Hello?
Right.
So, I'm the little kid with the toy sword, and daddy is standing behind me fighting the battle. And so, but I do also have scriptures. Again, when you work on homeless solutions, people get they lose their mind, and they say horrible things, and they threaten you, and they dig through your garbage, and it's I didn't think that would bother me as much as it did, but it really did. When I saw notes from my garbage can being presented to the city council, I was like, that's creepy.
Yeah.
So now I stop when I take out the garbage, I stop by the yard and pick up some pit bull deposits, add that to the Post-it notes. Good luck with that. Right? Because God did give me red hair. That's the other part about it.
Well, I think, you have to have a certain warrior
it's
mindset.
a warning label.
Well, yeah.
So I'm going to put on my glasses here and just share with you a couple
I'd
of
love
my
to hear those.
Scriptures. So when it comes to needing the money or all of this, when I pray with God, pray to God, it's Lord, these are your kids. These are your babies that are being trafficked. These are your babies who are being told to drink gasoline. These are your kids who, mom's in prison or dad's in prison and mom's dipped out with a new guy. And so grandma's supposed to be watching the kid, but grandma's 91 and in a nursing home. And so the kid's just on his own. Right. And he's 16. Talk about the lost and the orphans. And there's a lot of scriptures about those, right?
Absolutely.
So I'm like, Lord, these are your babies. And so, but he does take me back to Matthew 7:7, and it says, keep asking and you will receive what you ask for. Keep seeking and you will find. Keep knocking and the door will be opened. And Jeremiah 29:11, I prayed over these kids, for I know the plans I have for you, says the Lord, and they are plans for good and not for disaster, to give you a future and a hope. Right. And then for the naysayers, I don't know that they know that I have this warrior verse, but I do. It's Nehemiah 6:9, and it says, they were just trying to intimidate us. Imagine they could discourage us and stop the work. So I continued to work with even greater determination.
I have seen you walk that out, sister. So,
well,
I just remember that the enemy doesn't attack anybody he's not afraid of. And when my feet hit the floor, I want him to be like, oh, dang it, she's awake.
Oh, that's awesome.
And I do think that happens.
Oh, I do too.
So, right.
Oh,
Yeah.
The joy of the Lord is my strength. Mm-hmm. And when I'm really facing down giants, I dive into Nehemiah, just over and over again.
Yeah, that's a great.
Because it's a hammer in one hand and a sword in the other.
Right.
Because that is very much the work we're doing. Mm-hmm. It's love this kid who is running from some really scary things, and then love their abusive parents.
Right.
Because that is the only way to really make change.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Because if I'm just ferocious with the parents, then they won't let me help the kid.
Well, sure.
And I don't know their story.
Right. That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. And I have to admit that I struggle with judgment. I spend a lot of time saying, Lord, that woman just traded her daughter's body for housing.
That'd be hard things to know.
It's a hard moment to be nice to that mama.
Mm-hmm. Right.
But that mama didn't have housing. Mm-hmm. So if we don't solve problem A, we're never going to solve problem B. Yeah. And
I'm sure you
now
are,
they did pass the law for the firing squad, so that's crossed my mind a time or two. But that's the Lord's, not mine.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, but these are, I mean, that's being very real that
right.
it is a struggle. But if we want to serve and help these kids, I've seen a kid drop out of high school to go bail her mom out of jail because your mama is your mama is your mama is your mama.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And God put that in us to protect our mamas.
Yeah.
And so if we don't serve the mama and help the mama to get to a healthier, safer space, then
Right.
there's a barrier. The kid's not going to trust us to let us serve them.
Yeah.
And so,
Right.
yeah.
Good for you.
But
This conversation's just been incredible. I mean, I know we could learn so much more from you.
it's a ferocious mess.
Right, right. But we kind of have our kind of guiding aim. Why don't you, Sue, take us
Yeah.
home with this
Okay.
last question?
So our motto at Fun Grandma is let love be your greatest aim. So Michelle, when it's all said and done, what do you hope people say about you as they have witnessed you letting love be your greatest aim?
No matter how many challenges we face, we can never out-hate hate. And we have to recognize that we do not fight people.
Right.
We are fighting real evil. And we have to love our way through it. And so I hope that my life, the way that every breath brings honor to God and inspires someone else to let the Lord's light and love shine through them.
Well, you are that woman
Absolutely.
who is loving people so well.
I am so glad that these young people have you as their warrior. You know, definitely God through you. But yeah, I mean, you
And
just,
I don't do it alone. You have to know. I mean, we have the team that is up all night mopping the floor and
I
holding
bet.
the hair of the pregnant, puking little girl.
Right.
You know, they are the ferocious champions.
Yeah.
I'm surrounded by miracle workers themselves.
I know
Well,
that.
we just thank all of you.
Yeah.
I mean, and thank you for giving us your time. And we'll just be praying that God just keeps doing those messy miracles.
Thank you.
Yes,
Thank
Thank you
you.
for welcoming me here.